Hi Arthur, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Happy to have you here. Did you find the way all good here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you drive here? Did you cast the bar? How did you come?
Well, I drove here because it's local.
Did you find the parking easily? Because it's
Not,
a little bit tricky.
yeah, it's not the easiest. It's pretty like the strip's a bit tight back there, but yeah, I found something.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to walk a little bit, but it's all right.
Okay, so before we start, would you like me to bring you a cup of tea, some water? Maybe I'll order a coffee for you.
If you have a bottle of water, would be great.
Yeah, maybe go on.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
for you? All right. So, Arthur, before we start, I would like to tell you that anything we say here is private and confidential. You
Okay.
don't need to worry about these things. I'm not going to share your information with anyone else
Yeah.
without your consent.
Okay.
Only if I'm about to refer you, I'm going to share your information.
What do you mean?
If I'm going to refer you to someone else.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And also, if I see that there is a risk of harm of you or someone else, I have to do a mandatory report.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that all
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay.
Not a problem.
So, Alpha, I've seen a little bit of your file, and I could see it like you have a fear of something, but I would like to hear the story from you more. Can you explain me why you?
What do you have in your file?
today?
What fear are you referring to?
I can see that like a phobia of driving on motorways.
Yes.
So tell me more about this.
Yeah, I still have the fear of driving on freeways. For a while there, it wasn't just freeways. I started to get in the fear of driving in general, you know. But luckily, through a little bit of time and familiar places and streets that I knew I could stop, I've overcome that fear. However, yeah, I still have the fear of driving on a freeway, which is really annoying, and I'm trying to overcome it.
Okay, so you are 45 years old, as I can see.
Yes.
Okay, and since when you start driving?
I started driving when I got my I got my L's when I was 16. My P's when I was it's about 17.
17.
So nearly 30 years.
Nearly 30 years, like
29.
29 years.
Yeah.
And when that fear started?
Look, to be honest, I've never had a fear of driving. I used to be a designated driver with all my friends. I drove all the time. I've always had good cars. So I never ever had a fear of driving up until about 3 years ago. Yeah. It's a recent it's a recent development, and that's why I'm trying to nip it in the butt so it doesn't get worse. That's why I'm here today. It happened about the fear I could pinpoint it. Yeah, it happened about it started to develop about 3 years ago. Yeah.
So 3 years old, did anything specific happen that time?
I think so. Yeah. What I can put it down to is see, I don't know what you have in the file, but I'm a type 1 diabetic. I don't know if that's listed in there or not.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I developed type 1 diabetes a few years back. Normally type 1 happens when you're a child, but for me, my pancreas.
You develop it.
I developed it later.
later.
My pancreas started not. The insulin that I was producing wasn't working. Anyway, cut a long story short, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Okay. Now, when you're diagnosed with that, it's a bit of a life changer, because where you could eat normally or do whatever, your body would just normalize the sugar levels. Whereas now, whatever I have to take insulin. So with the insulin, it like when you eat, your sugar levels rise, and that's called a hyperglycemia. And if they drop low, it's a hypoglycemia. So I had to learn how to manage that, which is something I've never had to do because I was always normal, you know, and my body would always regulate itself. So I got that a few years ago, and what I tended to start to notice is that when my sugar level, say a normal sugar level has to be between 4 and 8, okay? When my sugar levels would increase, I'd start to feel a bit vague, pressure, and I could feel off. So what started to tend to happen is when I would drive, if my sugar levels rose, I'd feel off, like I wasn't as focused and I felt off. So that started to, you know, play a role in my driving. But when I first noticed, the point that I first noticed that I had a problem with freeways happened about 3 years ago.
So it sounds that you've been through a new situation.
Very new situation.
That you had never experienced before.
Not at all. It's
And
totally left field.
it's normal, and I could see that you've been driving like almost like 28, 29 years, and
29
and
years.
you had only that specific incident that you. So that day, what happened exactly?
Okay.
Can you remember what
Yeah,
happened?
I can
Yes.
remember clearly, of course, because it's changed my driving since then. So what it was of an evening. My girlfriend at the time came over to mine, and we were going to go out for dinner. And I took my car, and I jumped in behind the wheel, drove as per normal. I got onto the freeway, the M4 freeway, and we're heading towards the city. And as we're heading towards the city, I had noticed that prior to that, because we were going to dinner, I had taken an insulin shot, but I probably overshot a bit. So my sugar level started to slowly drop. So as I was driving, I started to feel, when your sugar levels drop and you have a hypo, you start feeling, it's like when you're at the gym. When you're at the gym and you're training and your sugar levels drop and you get lightheaded and dizzy and you need food, that's what happens.
It's like a hypoglycemia.
Yes, it's a hypoglycemia. Yeah, I had a hypoglycemia episode, and I had nothing. I didn't really have anything in my car, but I didn't know at the time because it was slowly coming. So what happened was I was in the middle lane and that started to come over me. So I got a bit disorientated. And I remember when I was driving, I felt a little bit off. And as I swerved a little bit and there was a car coming next to me. So I saw him on the rearview mirror and I was like, whoa. So as I steered, I oversteered and I lost a bit of control of my car. So I started to, skid. I went through a few lanes. Luckily, I didn't hit another car, and then I ended up near the barrier. I saved it. We didn't hurt ourselves. We were both safe. And I remember I pulled up. I looked at my girlfriend, and I was like, "Are you okay?" She was like, "Are you okay?" Yes, yes, yes. I took a minute, right? Luckily, I did have some jelly beans in the glove box, so I popped a couple of those. I let my sugar levels get back to, get my head back a bit, and then I drove off, and I drove as per normal. But little did I know that from that incident, that's where the problem started.
So since then, you have the fear ongoing on your motorways because you fear and you believe that this might happen again.
Of course.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, look, Arthur, it's understandable that, okay, you had difficult situation. You have, like you said, with the diabetic, and it's a new thing. You need to try to learn with these things. It's a new journey with your body to control blood sugars and the insulin and all these things. But I can say that even with this situation, even on your difficult situation that you had once, and you actually kept the control.
I kept control of the car.
And you pull over safely, you protected yourself, and you protected your girlfriend at the time.
Right.
And you avoided an accident. That shows that strong driving skills, actually.
Yeah.
If you see it that way.
Well, the thing is, I never have an issue with my driving skills. I've always considered myself to be a good driver.
And it's normal now that you have that phobia because your body trying to protect yourself.
That's what
Your
it is.
mind try to
My
protect
mind,
you.
yeah.
Your mind trying to protect yourself.
So,
So you, I'm gonna say, avoid more.
that's right.
So
That's exactly what's happening.
yeah.
It's an avoidance.
So
I'll give you an example.
yeah.
So when that happened, right? That incident happened. I repaired my sugar levels and I drove off. It was fine. Then what happened the next time, right? That I went for a drive.
Yeah.
I was driving normal, not in my mind. Then I get onto the freeway.
Yep.
So I was driving the freeway. I was okay. When I reached that part,
You went on your own that time.
I was on my own. Yeah.
Okay.
I was on my own, and when I got to that part where that incident had happened, for some reason I started getting tightness of the chest, and I started getting an anxiety that I've never had before. It started to come over me, right? The anxiety started to come over me, and the panic set, and it was only for a short period, but it was enough to throw me off, and I still continued my journey. So that was the next time that I went on. But then what that happened, what that turned into, started becoming a fear before I got onto the freeway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would
And
drive.
you're now avoiding.
Yeah, I would drive, and then if I knew I was going to get onto the freeway, my mind would already like start to put the fear in my head, like you're going to get on. What if you have a panic? And then I would get pre-anxiety and pre-panic to go on the freeway, and that became a problem. That is when it became a problem, and because of that, and I don't want to be in that situation, I started to avoid driving on the freeway.
Okay.
So I literally try to find routes around where I can pull over easily or whatever, just not to be on a freeway because it's too much.
I can see that
The fear is too much.
I can see that the fear, and now even you expressing and then you talking. I can see the passion and I can see a little pressure of like fear you still have. And one more question I have, like, what about if you are a passenger? Have you done like you've been?
That's a really
aware?
good question.
Okay.
So that's a really good question because that was another fear of mine. I thought maybe, I've got a fear of freeways completely.
Yeah.
But luckily I don't. If I'm a passenger,
Yep.
I can drive wherever. Like if someone else is driving and I'm not physically driving myself, I don't have a fear whatsoever.
Okay.
So that is good. I was worried because I thought if that starts to happen, I'm really in trouble.
Okay. So when you're a passenger, you don't have the fear.
No, I don't have the fear.
So
no.
only when you're driving.
Only when I'm driving and I'm in control.
But I can see you're a good driver.
Yes.
Like
Definitely a good driver. I've driven for many years.
Yeah, so because if you drive every day outside of the motorway.
Yes.
And there's no fear, not a problem.
No issue. Yeah.
So that's
very rare.
That's a big sign. Okay.
That is something I've worked.
So that shows that your driving skills are still good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my driving skills are fine.
The problem is not your driving skills.
Right.
And when the situation happened, your driving skills proved that you managed really good.
Yes.
You pulled over.
I controlled the car.
You're safe. You control everything.
I controlled the situation.
You and your passenger as well.
Yes.
So, I would like to help you getting comfortable again, and we won't jump straight to motorway. It's just like I want to build this fear step by step.
Right.
And, so let's start with something small.
Okay.
What's the easiest driving situation you feel safe doing?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I've done prior to meeting you and prior to coming here to discuss these things, right? Because obviously I want to take it to the next step and get some more professional help. That's where you come into play. So what I did was I started slowly driving in familiar places. Okay? You know what I mean?
So, Arthur, I want to make some questions to you. So, what's the easiest driving situation you feel safe doing?
Okay. I think driving locally,
Do your neighborhood and
my neighborhood and surrounding suburbs.
hmm. And what's one step harder?
It's an interesting question. I think driving a little longer.
Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger
Yeah,
road.
bigger. Yeah, definitely.
Little bit bigger road before not the motorway.
Bigger roads, and you know what else? I tend to find that when it's when you don't have a pullover lane and it's just a bit or bridges as well. I get a little bit. So even if it's a small bridge, even if it's local, I get a little bit of
Okay.
panic.
And after that,
Well, obviously it's entering a motorway.
the motorway.
Yeah.
So perfect. Will be a ladder from easiest to hardest.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we can't go straight to the big motorway.
Right.
We need to do it slowly.
Okay.
So I would like to do some techniques with you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called systemic desensitization. Okay. And you'll see what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Let's pair each step with relaxation.
Right.
Okay. When you feel fear, your body reacts fast.
Yes.
Okay. We want to teach your body a new response.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Okay. So, whenever you're ready, I would like you to close your eyes for a moment.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And imagine you're sitting in your car.
Yes.
The engine is on.
Mm-hmm.
Still in your driveway. What
Yep.
do you feel? You're in your driveway. You feel calm?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Now imagine driving to the main road. What do you feel, Arthur?
I still feel
Bit nervous?
a little bit of what potentially is to come, but not as bad. No, I still feel a little bit nervous.
So now I want you to take a slow breath.
Mm-hmm.
Relax your shoulders. And let the nervous feeling drop a little. Let's do 2 more times. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It helps a bit.
So now, Arthur, I want you to imagine driving near the motorway entrance. Near, not on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go in.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine passing by.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it sound?
Yeah, it's still a bit nervous.
Take a slow breath again. Let your body settle. And I want you to know that you are safe, Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better when you breathe?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's the goal. We teach your body a new reaction.
Yeah. I understand that. That's good. That actually makes me feel,
Yeah?
well, it just takes the focus off a little bit.
Exactly. So that's what we're trying to do, to start teaching your body a new reaction.
Okay.
Okay? So when you see the motorway,
Yeah.
you don't react that you used to. I know
It's hard.
it's hard.
It's hard.
It's
yeah.
hard. I don't know exactly the feeling, but
It's hard.
I can see that it's difficult for you, and
I understand what you're trying to do.
I would like so to make a plan. We do a plan together.
Right.
So we're gonna do step by step.
Okay.
Expose you to the motorway because we can't do it straight away. But the only thing that I know, it's like you be driving since you're 16, 17, you almost 30 years of safe driving.
Right.
One medical event
Yes.
doesn't erase all that experience. Okay?
Yeah.
Think it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And also, the fear is really about your health, not about your driving. And now that you manage your diabetes better,
Yeah.
you're actually safer than before, because you said that you didn't know exactly how to manage the diabetes,
Yes.
and now you get in the car and you're more prepared. You're checking your blood levels, and you know that you try to limit the possibilities that happen again.
I definitely limit the possibilities of having a hypo. Yes.
And you're avoiding the motorway, but you're avoiding it to protect yourself,
100%.
not because you're incapable. And with slow steps, you can teach your body to stay calm.
That's
Yes.
exactly right.
All
That
right.
is exactly right. I avoid the motorway to not so I don't have to so I don't encounter that fear
Yeah.
and anxiety. That's why I avoid it. Not because I'm incapable of driving it. I think if you removed all the cars and it was just a freeway and
Yeah.
me, I'd probably be able to do it. But you know,
And to be really honest, you feel changed because of the shock. But the truth is,
that was the catalyst. That was a trigger.
The truth is, you handle it safely. That shows you're still a skilled and careful driver.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay. So I want to do a plan with you, and I give you like a worksheet. You can do it when you're on your own and just before you start driving. And the one is for exposure steps, and the other is for tracking your fear levels.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
so you know in what fear is, and based on the scale of the fear, you can start do some looks.
Okay.
Okay.
This should be good.
So your goal, let's set the goal together. Your goal is to drive on the motorway without fear. Is that your goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the end game.
All right. Step 1. What's the easiest?
Are you asking me this question?
Yes.
What's the easiest?
Yes.
Like I mentioned to you, drive around my neighborhood.
Around your neighborhood.
Around my neighborhood and surrounding
Okay.
suburbs, close.
So what's the fear rating on driving on your neighborhood?
I don't really have a fear, yeah. No.
1?
Yeah, 1. I
Okay.
don't.
1 out of
No.
10?
Yeah, 1 out of 10. When I drive
Okay.
around here, I don't even think about it, you know.
What's the step 2? Maybe to a little bit bigger road than than is your neighborhood street?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what's the fear rate on this?
When I start to get beyond my neighborhood and start to go out, that's when I get a little bit more nervous. So if it was a 1 before, it'd be around a 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's set together step 3. Maybe drive near the motorway entrance but not enter. What do you think the fear rating is this?
What
Driving,
Close to them,
yes,
to the motor,
like
to the freeway.
imagine it's a para
Yeah.
road
Yeah.
next to the motorway.
Motorway, and
Yeah.
I don't get on.
No, don't get on.
The fear escalates a little bit, but not drastically, because I know that I'm still safe. Like I'm not entering.
between 2
And probably around 5.
Okay.
Like if it was 3 before, it starts to increase with increments. Yeah, probably about
5 to
round of 5. I'm starting. Like that's when I start to think about it. See, driving local, I don't really think about it. Getting out further, I start to think about it. When I'm closer to a freeway, that's when my mind starts to think about it more.
Okay.
Yes.
So, let's go to the next step that is hardest. Drive on a motorway alone for a short distance. Just imagine to go in the motorway and then go out the next one.
That'd be very high.
Yeah.
Very high.
9, 10.
Yeah, around 9 or 10. Because the thing is, prior to me doing that, I would try to avoid it at all costs. Like I would try not to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. I did that once. I entered on a freeway and got off at the beginning, and it was too much for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was trying to do one step forward like you're trying to do, but it threw me so much back. So
Okay.
I would like to get back to that, to do small trips on it. But
So we will start for step 1 and step 2 this week. So we get into drive on the main road near your house.
okay.
Okay, that is a little bit bigger than your neighborhood street.
Right.
Okay, and when you get in the car, before you start, I think I wanna believe that you're already doing it. You check your blood sugar levels, and you have your insulin with you, and also sweetness, or I don't know, something you're taking as a backup if you need it.
Yep.
Do you always do this?
I don't usually check my sugars prior to drive. I do if I'm gonna go for long drives. I like to have an idea, but now I always carry something in the car just in case if I do feel my sugar levels drop, I can have something and maintain it.
Can we check the blood sugars
Before I drive?
always?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's set this rule.
Okay.
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 So you know in your head that your blood sugars are ready,
Okay.
are okay to drive,
Yep.
and you know that nothing is gonna happen.
Okay.
Let's start with this.
Okay.
Okay. And we go to until step 2 for this week.
Okay.
Don't go to step 3. Let's go to step 2.
Okay.
All right. The second one is do you have like siblings or
Yeah, I've got.
friends that
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends.
you can go? Okay. I would like to go with someone
Right.
in the car
Yep.
as a passenger,
Yeah. Me as a passenger.
you as a passenger,
Yeah.
and not on the motorway. Just go on. Is there an access on a road next to the motorway that you can sit and see the motorway?
There's a section. Yeah, there's a section from the M4 on the Great Western where you can see it. It's parallel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can. I want you to go and park somewhere you can see the motorway.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I want you to go into some relaxing and breathing, watching the motorway.
Right.
Okay, I want you to go there, take really slow breaths, focus on the motorway, and you say, I'm safe, I'm brave.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and
I can do that.
try to, with your breaths, calm your body. Okay, as we did it before. Another worksheet the last one is I'm going to do another technique with you. It's called narrative technique, and it's like externalize the problem.
Right.
And I want to see, I want to help you see the fear is the problem, not you. Okay, you're not the problem. The fear is creating it.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, and together, let's give the fear a name. What do you think? Give whatever you want.
I don't know.
We call the things that show up when you think about the motorway.
Like shock or something, like
All
shock
right.
fear or whatever.
Shock fear. Shock fear. When does the shock fear show up the most?
To be honest, I think it shows up as just before I enter the freeway.
Okay.
Because I know that I'm gonna be in that, you know.
And what did it tells you?
That, you know, I'm probably gonna lose control again.
Okay.
You know, it's a terrible situation to be in.
And what does the shock fear try to make you believe?
Oh, that I'm unsafe and
Yep.
something bad will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
And what do you want to say back to the shock fear?
Shit. That I'm managing my diabetes now.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm better than what I was last year. Or not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just want to tell the shock to get lost.
So you see that the shock fear is outside of you,
Yeah.
okay? And that's something outside. That it's something that you can challenge,
I have
and
to.
it's something you can
yeah.
win. And
So far, it's defeated me, but I need to defeat it.
okay, and together, let's reauthorize your story, Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
You've been driving since you are 17,
Yep.
almost 28 years.
Yep.
What does that say about your skills?
Like I said, I've never questioned my driving skills.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
That says that you're a good driver.
Well, considering I've had minimal incidents, so I consider myself a decent driver.
The part of your story, of that incident
Mm-hmm.
that happened,
Yep.
which part saw your strength?
Which part was my strength?
Which part of that incident that happened?
That even though that was going on, I didn't overly panic and I controlled the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
You reacted really well.
My reaction time was good and I saved a possible accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now what story do you prefer to live now? What story? You want the story of you afraid on motorways? Or you want the story that you're a good driver?
Yeah.
That's exactly, that's where everybody knows you're a good driver and you manage it really well.
I want that story.
Okay, so that story you're gonna live now.
That's the story we have to that's the dream we have to chase.
Exactly. That's what we're gonna start building, rebuild a stronger and more accurate story about.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep, I'm all for that.
That's good, Arthur. How do you feel now? You feel more confident?
Look, I feel more confident that I'm ready to take, your advice on board and start to, I guess it's more so to start to challenge myself and see whether I can and see, I'd actually like to do it and then report back to you.
So I would like you to do all the plan we did together for
Yeah.
this week,
Yeah.
and I would like to see you in 2 weeks
Okay.
and to see how you coping with.
The progress.
Yes. And let's book the second appointment for 2 weeks.
Yep.
On the 15th is fine.
Yep.
15th of the month. And what time is better for you?
You know, on the 15th I'm off, so I'm pretty flexible. Whatever time's fine.
It's the 16th? Ah, you're off.
No, no. 15th I'm off.
Okay.
It's fine. So
Ah, it's fine. Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
time.
And 12 o'clock is fine?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
12 o'clock.
midday's fine. Yep. No
Okay.
worries.
So work on your plan
Yep.
and focus on your breathing. Do what we have said, and I would like to see you next time, Arthur.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that you will do an amazing work.
I'll give it my best. I'll try.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
very much. Bye.